Hey everyone, it's Darren Kaplan. Remember, you can always find me at MrMortgageGuru.com. You can always call me at 844-772-LOAN apply. Get some questions. Today, I'd like to discuss one little topic that's been going on in the community, and I want to read this to you. The CFPB report finds that 2.1 million families are behind at least 3 months on mortgage payments, while 8.8 million are behind on rent. Homeowners alone are estimated to owe almost $90 billion in missed payments. The last time this many families were behind on their mortgage was during the Great Recession, the report states. We have very little time to prevent millions of families from losing their homes to eviction and foreclosure, warns the CFPB, acting Dave Huello. We want everyone, homeowners and renters, landlords and mortgage servicers, to have the tools they need now to avoid unnecessarily evictions and foreclosures. Now, meanwhile, additional help to those most in need is on its way. I saw this article circulating, given how great 2020 was for everyone, right? What is is there a game plan or, like product to start helping these people so the balance doesn't shift? I'm dealing with Justin here. He's on our panel today talking about this. Justin, why don't you tell everybody, who you are and where you're from?
So Justin DeCrosta, Yellowbird Realty here in Milford, Connecticut. Now, Darren hits on a good point here that's a very informative article talking about the numbers, but the reality is the foreclosure courts have been closed for a really long time. The government instituted the forbearance, which is pushing out your mortgage payment 3 to 5 months in advance. They also put a halt on all evictions, right? So Dan went over the numbers and the specifics, but the reality is that this is going to be sneaking up on a lot of people. And some, if not all, are going to have problems paying back and catching back and getting back to current, and or on the rental market, maybe facing evictions as soon as those open back up. So it could be a very scary time here in the next couple of months as things return back to a little bit of normalcy and the courts and the eviction restrictions start to lift. So it's really, really important to start thinking about these things and having a plan in place.
So look here, right? Here's the scenario, and everything you said is great, right? But on the contrary, right? So if you're one, let's start with the rent scenario. If you're one that's not paying rent right now, you're obviously expecting to get evicted when the court evictions get lifted, right? I would assume at that point, you've already screwed your landlord so long that he's not going to let you live there, right? He's already pissed off because, you're living there for free, or that person that isn't paying rent, right? And their answer may be, well, neither may you be, right? But now here's the flip side of it. Now that landlord, let's say, right, he has a mortgage. Now he's deferring his mortgage payments, let's say, even though that's the case, right? Wouldn't it make sense for these big banks, okay, to help that person actually leave and relocate? Wouldn't it be cheaper and wouldn't it be like costly to themselves and the community? Like, they're deferring all of their equity that they've built up. So eventually, either the house is going to have no equity, right, and they're going to sell or go into foreclosure, or, right, the flip side of it is that they sell now, take their equity out, and maybe have some type of restructure program in like Kansas where they can live and like get the education for their kids if they have that in the correct locations. Wouldn't just that make so much more sense than just taking the easy way out and deferring people until there's another tragedy? Man, I lived through 2008 and it's not fun. I promise you. Short sailing somebody's house isn't like it's not the prime example of business all the time. And I'm not saying that there's not going to be, okay? There will be, and I believe there's a time and a place for it, but aren't we just delaying the inevitable?
Yeah, absolutely. And it really is important to start thinking about those things, having a plan, maybe thinking something, as Darren said, relocating, something that you may have had in the back of your mind for a couple of years. now could really be the time to put that plan in action. Like Darren said, take out the remaining equity that you do have in your house could be a very good option to overcome a very bad situation.
You know, I'm not saying sell now, but, you know, let's start planning on it then. You know, if you're already deferring tons of money, maybe that's not the right area for you, even on the rebound. You know, maybe there should be some type of counseling where a company can come in and help you with that. But either way, Justin, it was a pleasure always talking to you. You know, these are real topics that I love to talk about. You know me. Remember, guys, you can always find me at mrmortgageguru.com. Call me 844-772-LOAN. Justin, you can also tell them.
Yeah, our YouTube channel, Selling CT with JD. You can find 2 or 3 videos posted every week on some relevant real estate topics. And any other questions, we'd love to help answer you guys that you may be thinking about there. Just write them in the comments. We'll be happy to address them.
Peace. Thank you, man. That was great.